I am with two of the most remarkable women in the country, young or old, and I still think I'm a liberal. That's the
Right.
and I have a proof. You know me since I was a liberal Democrat. Tell me one value I have abandoned. I am proud of the term conservative. It's ironic because my column this week is "What is conservatism?" So I came to realize, because I went through that period when my original title, somebody just raised this with me, said, I know you so long, Dennis, I remember, you don't know this even, and Julie knows me very well. And he said, I am with you since you used to say you're a passionate centrist. That was my
You used to say that.
That was my self-description. And gradually I realized, yeah, but there's actually a group that has all my passionate centrist views.
Sure.
They're called
Right.
conservative.
Why do you label yourself as conservative? And I was thinking about it too. Should I just position myself as Julie, a free thinker? But the reason ultimately at the end of the conversation why I came to Dennis's conclusion, why I'm proud of the term conservative, is because, look, I may not fall directly always into a conservative line of thinking. For instance, I've expressed many times that I'm very conflicted about the issue of abortion. Part of me is pro-life, part of me is pro-choice, and I'm wrestling with that. So maybe I don't exactly fall into the conservative camp.
Conservatives don't care if you differ with them on X, Y, or Z. Even
Look at what I just said.
Yes, that's the
Abortion.
most
Right.
sensitive issue among conservatives. And she says she's ambivalent. I was with a guy I don't remember, but who said on Salem radio, point blank, I'm for same-sex marriage. Salem
I've said that.
Salem, you said it. Salem,
am too.
You are too. Fine. It's a non-issue. We accept diversity of thought. Forget diversity of race. It's a non-issue. But diversity of thought is acceptable. You're the first guest we've ever had.
Oh my gosh.
We should get her a badge.
This is an honor.
We're honored. All right, we love you, Amala.
Thank you so much.
Liberals are conservatives. A true liberal today is what a conservative is. I grew up liberal. And, I'm classic New York Jew, Columbia University, right? I mean, that's almost redundant to say that I'm liberal or I was raised liberal. But the best values that I was taught as a liberal are now all held by conservatives. Diversity of thought is acceptable. After all, you don't debate a racist. If I were in a room with a Ku Klux Klansman, do you think I would debate him? There's no debate. You are beneath contempt. You are unworthy of dialogue. When I'm going to talk you out of your idiotic position that whites are inherently superior to every other race, it's an absurdity. What is there to argue about? Diversity of thought is acceptable. Conservatives don't care if you differ with them on same-sex marriage. Salem,
I've said that.
Salem, you said it. Salem,
am too.
You are too. Fine. It's a non-issue. After all, you don't debate a racist. You are beneath contempt. You are unworthy of dialogue. Diversity of thought is acceptable.
Joining me today is the founder and director of Turning Point USA, a student organization for young conservatives which advocates for free markets and limited government. Charlie Kirk, welcome to the Rubin Report.
Glad to be here. Big fan. There is a revolution happening on these campuses, but it's not against conservatives. All this. It's a new train of thought that we want freedom, we want smaller government, but it's also fighting the culture war, which is for free speech, for diversity of ideas, and really against what these college campuses have created.
Was it the largest conservative college group?
We're waiting.
Ever?
We're waiting for someone to correct us. We've done some research. We have never found anything even close.
Yeah.
To have 2,650 students from all 50 states. no one's really found anything even comparable of size. So we call it the largest until someone corrects us.
Yeah. Well, you had some protesters out there. You know, they show up all the time to everything.
Yeah,
but there was true diversity of thought there.
Totally.
I mean, it was also sort of a Rubin Report reunion for me because Prager was there and Gutfeld was there.
All my best friends.
And Candace was there, obviously, and a whole bunch of other
Sure.
people. Trump Jr. was there. Just a series of people. I went up there and I talked about being gay married and I talked about being pro-choice and a bunch of other things that if you were to poll the average conservative that perhaps they're not for. I think gay marriage, maybe it's a little different at this point. But I got a standing ovation. And everywhere that I went.
Multiple times.
Yeah, a bunch of times. And, all right, I want to do one other thing on the social stuff, and then we'll move over to some other things.
I'm cool with,
so,
you know.
no, I know. I said, listen, I never tell
love
my
the
guests
disagreement and
questions, but
stuff.
you immediately sat down. You're like, anything, let's go. All right.
Seriously, challenge
All right,
me.
Here we are. So, well, I don't think this one will be too much of a challenge, but I think it's an interesting,
Sure.
it just shows how things have shifted. So at the Republican convention, Peter Thiel, an openly gay man,
Great man. Yeah.
spoke before Trump. He said, I'm a proud gay man, got a standing ovation. Then Trump gets up there, talks about...
And points him out.
Yeah, right, points him out.
And he said, it makes me very happy, was the exact quote he said.
Because he has a little
makes
bit
me
of a
very
little
happy.
gay, that thing with the hand. But okay, but that the fact that there's been such a wholesale shift in that even right now, Ted Cruz or the guys that you might consider a little more of the Christian conservatives,
Which I'm one of them, right?
Mike Huckabee, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so where you come from, basically, as far as I can tell, don't really see this as an issue anymore. Is that a fair premise?
I think that's
to start?
correct. And so let me dive deeper and also pose a hypothetical to some of the leftists watching this. Peter Thiel, openly gay man, gets a standing ovation at the Republican National Convention and then pointed out by the candidate. Do you think that an evangelical pastor that was pro-Israel, that might be a Democrat, would have even been allowed to speak at the Democratic National Convention or given a standing ovation? They booed God when that was mentioned. Okay,
Yeah. No, they literally did.
What is the shift here? The shift is the Republican Party is beginning to realize, hey, we're the party of freedom. Like, it's cool if you want to do that. And I think it's a real sea change, because even if you see Rand Paul beginning to endorse more of those favorable drug policy positions on the side of freedom or gay marriage, you're starting to see a sea change where it's becoming the soul searching the Republican Party has been doing over the last 30 years is, what's the one thing that ties our party together? Freedom, freedom, freedom. And I think that's why you're starting to see that. And the left, they can't reconcile. What ties them together? Oppression. Like it's the oppression Olympics. It's like who suffers more, And I think that's a really good thing. Segue to one final point is, what I think is the position that needs to be articulated better is, I have no problem if, gay marriage, whatever, like I believe marriage, one man, one woman, that's my own personal position, right? But I'm never going to tell government to have someone live a life. I think it's cool you're married, I think it's great, and you should have all the same tax benefits, adopt children, it's great, right? But
I feel the same way about you.
Well, it's fine, it's like whatever. And we made a decision at Turning Point after a couple of years is, let's not just fight the political war, let's double down and fight the culture war.
We now understand that sexual liberation is political control. It's a form of political control. And you have multiple times advocated on behalf of accepting homosexuality, accepting homosexual acts as normative in the conservative movement. How does anal sex help us win the culture war?
Honestly, I don't care what two consenting adults do. So that's the whole thing. And your hyper-focus on it is kind of weird.
I'm not here to tell anybody what to think or what to believe, but for me, somebody like that doesn't really have any place in the conservative movement, because it's something that is so behind the times. And you can boo and you can do whatever you want to, baby, because I'm going to be me, and I'm still here.
My question is largely directed to Mr. Kirk, because you were raised as a conservative. Part of the issue I see here is, what's your name, Rob?
Yeah.
So you're saying, you're behind the times, this isn't conservative. Well, we don't want centrists in the conservative movement. We want to retain our core values.
Yeah, but here's
The best values that I was taught as a liberal are now all held by conservatives.